Military fatigues. He sat there, crying. Deep sobs. The kind that cause a shudder as they are explosively forced from the body. He was badly injured, blood staining his khaki woolen uniform, probably ripped open by the machine gun fire that had decimated his comrades as they charged. As I passed over no man's land and into the trench, I could see more bodies. Reddened holes ripped into their shirts, and with bloody faces, they lay there, as still as the forest of pines behind us. The frontal assault had finished with the last guttural cries and hammering of rifles and revolvers subsiding at last. An alert came from behind.
Attention!
Commanded one of the officers that had joined us in the assault. As I spun to attention, I saw the captain leering over the wounded man. He gave a sharp kick to the man's stomach, his pointed black boot digging into the scarlet band of the man's midriff. A muffled sound came from the man, a scream of pain dampened by the blood that probably filled his lungs. The quick draw and the crack of the hammer quickly ended that. I had just watched my superior officer murder a defenseless man. And with that, I stood to attention, as a good soldier does. The artillery fire and drilling of machine guns began once again, as further down the forest, a countercharge was ordered. The rapid speech from the captain kept many of the men around me gripped, as if their minds were stuck in the jaws of a bear trap. It was the hail of gunfire and screams of dying that kept me still, gripped with fear, not patriotism. The cleanup is the terrible part. It's when the realization of what has happened hits most of the men. Dragging bloodied and mangled corpses of friend and foe. Some of the men freeze up, unable to comprehend as they come face to face with the corpse of a man they bayoneted, or the sight of the crumpled body of a friend. It stank too. Bayonets and gunfire had a great target, the torso of a man, but the exact details of ripping holes in one's innards leaves the smell of filth in the air. Bloodied and broken corpses were sorted to be buried in a large pit, dug by several gaunt and wide-eyed young men, or the smaller graves for our own men felled in battle. I carried body after body to the pits. I was much more used to it than the others. The new boys just didn't have it in them. I had no choice as a career soldier. I was numb to the horrors of this duty. I awoke in cold sweats that night, much like most others. The putrid smell from the bowels of the dead men seeped into my nostrils, like a thick sludge into a drain. Orders were being shouted from further down the trenches. I pulled myself from the muddy puddle that I had been sleeping in. Many of the soldiers around me had yet to rise, but I imagined it wouldn't be long before something was done about that. I was correct, as a stumbling private made his way down the trenches, screaming for us all to wake up. I tried to stop him and question his reasons, but they were soon apparent. The dull thud of ranged cannons rang out through the trenches, reverberating from the wooden beams and supports. From the yelling, I figured they probably weren't ours. The whistling generally isn't heard if you're right under the shells. I heard nothing. I saw the lamps reflect the metal of the shell from my peripheral vision. It came in with the speed of a hawk diving for prey. Just as the small bird hunted by the hawk, I had no time to react. Just as it glimpsed my vision, the hawk found its prey. The shockwave was the worst. I felt my insides pushed aside as the explosion surrounded me and the group I was sleeping in. Blood trickled from my ears, and shrapnel dug into my skin as I laid there. There it was again. And fear that engulfed me.